everybody, and welcome to Bottom Line with Roni and Byron. We have a lot of news to get to you today, and we're going to start with the resident from Sunland who escaped last Friday.
For national news, we'll talk about how U.S. schools are on high alert over a school shooting TikTok challenge.
And then we'll switch to sports and talk about Dion Sanders, who flipped the #1 recruit.
And for entertainment, we'll talk about how Tyler Perry crashes a $200,000 SUV after leaving LA airport.
And for our relationship tea segment, today we're going to take a question that we received from the community. So Byron, let's get right to it. And we'll start with the #1 story that has been in Jackson County for the last week, the resident from Sunland who escaped. Byron, his name is Luis Fernando Ortiz Rivero. He's a Hispanic guy. He's originally from New York, and what happened was last Friday morning around 7:30 a.m., he was reported missing. Now, Byron, this is over a week later, and he is still missing. So I wanted to kind of catch the viewers up to see what the latest is. We did receive an update, and supposedly there was a young lady that is with him. Her name is Kayla Gilbert. Actually, it's Kaylee Gilbert, and she's from Chipley, a 20-year-old. You can see the photos that have been surfacing. Ortiz is right here in that photo. When they initially released his first photo is without a beard, but now they're releasing photos of him with a beard. And then also, this is a young lady that they believe who is with him, Byron. It's such a sad situation.
Yeah, I'm glad the new photo came out because that first photo, I mean, he looked like he was probably 30 pounds lighter, no beard. And it's amazing how time will go by and a person will look completely different. So at least that's out there because maybe some more people can recognize him. I hate to see young women get tied up in situations like this, especially with a guy that's got this type of background and basically going to exploit you to get whatever advantages he's trying to get out of it. And now he's escaped, and no matter what happens, right now, as a suspect, right now you're looking like an accomplice, to this situation. So I hope that's not the case, but that's what all the indications are looking like. But for the people out there, man, I know. Even myself, I've been real cautious going out lately because Sunland's right down the road from us. For a second, I felt like, hey, he's probably gone. He's probably nowhere around here. But, knowing that he could be with a woman from Chipley, he could be, still right around this area and haven't left yet. So hopefully more news comes out and this individual gets apprehended and maybe they won't put him in Sunland or a facility like that. Maybe he'll just go straight to DOC and they can evaluate him from there. But he's definitely shown some competency in some areas. I'll tell you that much.
Right, that's true. And the reason why he's at Sunland, Byron, is in 2007 he committed a murder, and so he was placed in the Sunland. For those who don't know, is a facility for adults with disabilities, and it's ran by ADP, which is a state facility. ADP stands for Agency for Persons with Disabilities, and some kind of way he was placed in Sunland. Now, I am told, actually I read, Byron, that a judge just approved him earlier this year to be in a less restrictive facility, which was, a place like Sunland, because according to the records, he was denied placement at a group home in Leon County in June. So a judge did approve for him to be placed at Sunland. So, that's kind of interesting in itself. But that murder took place in Broward County in 2007. Now, Ortiz is really originally from New York, but the murder took place in Broward County. So now he is facing charges for that murder. That was, basically brought back up this week once he escaped. And so it doesn't, look like a good situation. And as far as the young lady, I am told that she was a graduate she's a graduate of Chipley High School, graduated about 2 years ago. and was a very good student. So like you said, just hate to see a young lady get caught up in something like this. But before he escaped, they said that there was some court orders showing that they were actually trying to move him closer to his family in Tampa.
Yeah, that makes sense. Most people try to do that. Yeah. So
so they were,
and maybe that's maybe that did he get granted that? Maybe that's what he was trying to do. I don't know.
I don't know. But like I said, I'm not quite sure how long he's been at Sunland. However, now the young lady, she is not a current employee of Sunland. She used to work at Sunland, but at the time of the escape, she was not an employee. That's what I've been told. So, but the relationship did start once she was, when she was there. So again, Ortiz Rivera is still at large. He is 5'9", 220 pounds, Hispanic guy. Again, charges are first-degree murder and aggravated battery without a firearm. And these charges, again, is brought to him or brought up by the Broward County agency. So, again, be on the lookout. But like I said, most people think he is long gone from this area. Long gone. So that's my first story, and I want to go ahead and move on to the next story. I want to give an update on the TOC and Jackson Hospital saga. So, Brian, we had some developments this past week, and there was a meeting again, and it's going back and forth between TOC and Jackson Hospital. But the latest, TOC did issue a statement. And Byron, I'll read some of this because it's kind of interesting how they put the wording, and you've seen it. But the bottom line is they were basically saying, we've gone back and forth on this. You put, speaking of Jackson Hospital and the city of Marion, I put these restrictions on them when they added those items to the MOU. And basically, they're just not something they can agree to. So the statement basically that they issued this week is addressed to the city commission of the city of Marion. It says, the many restrictions, this is the last paragraph. The many restrictions placed upon TOC continue to represent overly broad and unreasonable requests that TOC cannot accept. TOC has requested that the city and the hospital reduce the extreme restrictions to services. TOC plans to continue to serve their orthopedic and sports medicine needs in Jackson County for many years to come, and if an agreement cannot be reached, we'll explore other ways to advance collaborations with the hospital outside of the proposed MOU. What does that sound like to you, Byron?
It sounds like we done. You made your move, and don't worry about it. We ain't even gonna bother. That's what it sounds like to me. I told you, I said it the last show, and I said it. Hey, don't be the guy from Jaws. Don't be that mayor from Jaws. Look, don't pull a Walt Disney. You're gonna keep pegging until they just gonna say, don't worry about it. Now, you made the point. It was gonna bring, and in that now, if people can, I know it's a matter of public information, but if folks can look at that letter and that statement, they make a point about how it will bring a lot of money to the West End. Yeah. And look, I know it might come off. I hope it don't come off offensive to people, but when you come off of I-10 and you come off of 231, that plaza that currently is where it's at, it's the eyesore. And imagine what it would be if they were to put that place there. It brings a whole different look and vibe and a lot of money, a lot of jobs and everything to that area. Once again, from the position of if TOC was just going to provide services for people in Marion and that was it, I could understand the argument. But if they bring a facility like that, that's going to draw a lot of more people, and they've broken down the numbers. They have been where they've been currently for quite a while, and they know what is the potential. But you can this is a game of chess. You can keep, playing or going back and forth till a person just gets tired of bothering. And I hope that this doesn't, maybe they'll take a step back and say, hey, we'll do something different. We won't even bother with going through a deal with the hospital or something like that, which still would be wouldn't be a good move for Jackson Hospital, as far as you could have had a working relationship going. But I hope they just don't fully back completely out. But once again, you can keep on until, and then it perpetuates that same narrative that a lot of people say behind the scenes, how there's nothing here and you can't never get nothing in Jackson County because certain people don't want it here. It's one of those things. So I hope, but that letter, how it reads, it sounds like, in a nutshell, don't worry about it. We good. We'll
figure out something else. But I want to point out for those that, I guess I should have kind of done a recap, but for those that are not familiar with the situation, TOC and Jackson Hospital are at odds. TOC is trying to basically build a facility here because they've outgrown the facility where they are currently located. They want to get the property at Jackson Square, the entire property, which is across from the Big and Little on Lafayette Street, and they want to build a surgery center. However, Jackson Hospital is opposed to it because they think they will lose revenue if TOC is allowed to do this. So what has happened, the city commissioners from Marion proposed an MOU and they added some things to it. The things they added to it, this is what TOC is not in agreement with. The city agreed to amend the MOU to request that TOC agree to not build a surgery center or any form of imaging services except for digital X-ray and no physical therapy services to appease the hospital's position. That was a request. So when you look at that, you're like, well, what are they supposed to do if they can't do these things?
Yeah, like I said offline, that's like a super loop coming to town and you say, hey, you can come just for the first 5 years. We don't want you to change no oils. We don't want you to check no, put no airs and tires, no sell these particular products. Why would I come there if I can't? That's my whole business. You know what I'm saying? So,
it's just unfortunate.
When they added that, to the MOU, I was kind of like, I don't think they're gonna go for that one. And they made a point that a lot of media coverage was incorrect, and it kept having to go back and reiterate the same points over and over again. So I could see them being real frustrated with the whole process.
Yeah, so they are. Like I said, they, when the project first came, and we brought this to you as well, it was under the name Project Skeleton. Mm-hmm. Well, Project Skeleton is TOC, Tallahassee Orthopedic Center, and they are, wanting to put a surgery center or facility of some sort, at the location where it's called Jackson Square now. And they wanted to just kind of use that whole location to basically do the services that they want to provide. And basically they've been told, no, you can't do these A, B, and C for 5 years. And so we're at an impasse, and it doesn't seem like nothing's gonna happen.
I got another point. Let this be, let this be a good point. Now Jackson Hospital, you got what you want pretty much. And you're gonna be on notice now. If a $10 million project that could have been, in the West End is not in the West End, you gotta own that, because basically you're saying you could do it on your own. You don't need them there. It's gonna take jobs, and it's gonna do this and gonna do that. So what are you gonna do? People gonna start asking those questions, and it may be some repercussions behind that if they don't decide to even bother. But that's my point. If
Chipley,
that's what I'm saying. It pops up. What if Chipley end up being like Orlando? They get to reap all the benefits So, you know, it could be that, you know, you never know. So hey, I hope that like I said, I hope it'll be a positive outcome come out of this, but you know, you played your hand, so see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. So anyway, we'll keep watching that story. We have been watching for a while, and we will continue to do so. All right, I'm going to stop right here and tell you that our local and state news is brought to you by Brightway Insurance, which is located in Marion at 2867 Caledonia Street. Check out TD Horn and his staff and go for your needs. If it's life insurance, auto insurance, property insurance, whatever insurance needs you may have, please contact Brightway Insurance. You can reach them at 850-633-3460. That's 850-633-3460. Byron, I'm going to take this moment also to kind of spotlight someone who has done a marvelous job with her community service and business here. I'm speaking of Pamela Shack. You can see her picture right there. Pamela Shack owns Caboodle's Boutique, which is located on the West End on Orange Avenue. And she actually not only, you know, sell items at economic cost, but she feeds people once a month. She has a monthly food and clothing drive that happens, and it feeds and clothes a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people. If you see the pictures right here, she just had one on Wednesday, and you can see Santa is there. Leon Kelly is playing Santa, but yeah, she does a lot. Yeah, good Santa. It looks very authentic, huh? But she does a great job, and I just want to say kudos to Pam and just to keep her, you know, encouraged and to just keep doing what you're doing, Pamela Shack, because you're doing a marvelous job.
Hoorah.
Yeah, I want to go ahead and go to also some state news. Now, this is kind of hilarious, but and it's not. But there was a young man who was basically booted off of United Airlines for wearing his face mask, but it wasn't really a face mask. It was a thong. You see the picture right here.
So how was that going to block? Go ahead with the story before I talk. Go ahead.
Well, no, I think he was, you know, he's done it before apparently on Delta Airlines as well. But his point is, you know, when he wears that, like how basically, what's the purpose when you're allowing people to take it off and eat? So he was being funny by wearing the thong and saying, hey, I'm wearing the thong. It is covering my face. That's what you said. But at the same time, you're not allowing me to wear it. So, Byron, you know, I think this guy is just really, you know, he thinks he's proven a point, you know, in his mind, but at the same time, he continues to get booted off these airlines.
Yeah, he been a little extra. I'm not a fan of extra, but yeah, he trying to make a point there. You know, he gonna put some draws on his face and go out on wide out and I know his mama didn't approve of that. You just gonna go out on the plane with some draws on your face, man. Come on. I get the frustrations of people, but look, if you don't want to, just don't wear the mask. Why you care if everybody wear one or don't? But you know, I know on the planes you have to, and it's you know, but that's crazy to me. You know, sometimes people get a little too carried away. You got kids, you got families. That's a little too much, guy. But but at least did they kick him off the plane, or did they ban him from so many flights? And
yeah, they kicked him off the plane, and you know, he just, you know, it just kind of leads to basically the what's the problem is, Byron, you know, a lot of the, you know, airline flight attendants are catching a lot of just basically it's a lot of abuse, really, for asking people to wear masks. And that they've gone they were at the Capitol this week, matter of fact, some of them, and they were just saying, is there something that you guys can do? Because the flight attendants are being abused, basically. I mean, they're getting fights and people are cursing them out, and it's just awful.
Yeah, it's one of those things where people will get their frustrations off on anybody that's close to them, and they know that the decision making, they know it's not the flight attendant, but it's like that saying, don't kill a messenger. Because I'm when I used to work in Walmart, years back, I'm stocking shelves, and little old ladies will come and give me the business about why did Walmart raise the price for a certain product from $2.99 and now it's $5. I'm like, ma'am, I just stocked the shelves. I have no control over the price of the product, but they know that, but they want somebody to. So no matter what anybody says, anybody will get burnt out. You can, like my mama said, you can wear out your welcome no matter who you are. And when it comes to the pandemic, when it comes to wearing masks,
today shared horror stories about the surge in this pandemic. Now the attendants are asking Congress to protect them.
I tried to open it.
It's cool. What I stop at?
You said when you said your mom's so you can get burned out on anything.
Okay.
Just start there.
I go there.
Yeah.
And so to that point is, people, no matter what, we've all got a threshold, and people get burnt out, and a lot of people burn out with wanting to wear a mask. And so then that frustrations, you can't go to DC, you can't go to the Capitol, you can't go and fuss and cuss somebody out. So the very close person, when you get on that plane and that flight attendant is doing their job, you they're gonna say something because that's their job, and people start dumping their frustrations out on them. And I hate that it's going on, and people kind of need to self-check, buddy check. Got to check yourself. It's not their fault. They're doing their job.
Fights. Yeah, they're getting into fights, Byron. Fights with passengers. And like I said, they were at the Capitol this week, asking Congress, can you do something? Like, can you pass a law? Or is it something you can do? Because, it's getting pretty much outrageous. They had like over 4,300 cases of just being, passengers just being, outright just, crazy. And so they're like, something has to be done. And but the guy name was Adam Jean, and that took place at the Fort Lauderdale airport when he was basically asked to leave. But again, his point was, showing how in his mind absurd it was to ask people to wear masks when they have to take it off when they're eating. So I guess that in his mind is like, that doesn't make sense, but it makes sense to people because you're in a closed-in space. It makes sense to me. However, when you do eat, you have to take it off, but when you finish eating, you put it back on, right? Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do that. So, but anyway, that's, we'll just have to, watch out for others. I think that's what we have to do. And some people don't want to do that. But again, we need to do that. All right, Byron, I'm going to leave that alone. And again, I'm going to say our local and state news is brought to you by Brightway Insurance. Brightway Insurance is located in Marion at 2867 Caledonia Street. And you can reach TD Horn and his staff at 850-633-3460 and get your life insurance, property, business, whatever insurance needs you may have. Please contact TD Horn and his staff and let them know that you heard us here on Bottom Line with Roni Byron talking about them. What do you have for national news?
So for national news, before I begin, talk about People's Funeral Home. Because we care, we are here when you need us. Long Granbury Funeral Services, doing business as People's Funeral Home, Mariana and Battle Mortuary, Panama City, offers services that is within the reach of all. Their caring staff is available 24/7 when the need arises. Their services are designed to commemorate the life being remembered at a price suitable for all. Give Cephas and Gwen a call at 850-482-2233 or simply stop by for more information. That's People's Funeral Home. So for national news, I wanted to get into a topic that kind of caught my eye, and it's near and dear to me, but it kind of went a different direction. So we talked about diet soda. Diet soda is disappearing from store shelves. As you may know, the when you go through your aisles, you'll notice that soda aisles are doing away with the diet label on a lot of their drinks and a lot of their products, and you're seeing more zero sugar. Has been replaced for that. And even when it comes to Coke, Canada Dry, ginger ale, 7-Up, A&W, you're starting to notice this big change. Now, in the article that I read, they were kind of giving more points to how people in the newer generations don't like the term diet, but I'm going a little different in the direction. I think, well, especially with millennials, there's a lot of overweightness. There's a lot of diet, and Ryan, you can speak to it. And there's a lot of diagnosis of diabetes, and high blood pressure and things of that such. Even myself, I'm diabetic, and I look for. It's very, very hard to find no sugar or alternatives. Like especially when we go out to eat, it's either water with lemon or unsweet tea, and I'll use a little Splenda or something like that. But it's very few options. And even when I go out in town, I gotta eat before I go, because once I get to that point where I'm hungry, and I'm even in Marion, it's not many options. You got Subway, and then you may have, if it's late in the evening, I pretty much gotta get it how I live. But for those people that's out there, more people are more conscious of their sugar intake. And it's not so much diet, but the term diet, but people are changing their diet, because all diet is what you eat on a day-to-day, a regular basis. And it's not supposed to be kind of stigmatized as taking away something from you and you having to do without the good things. So
I don't use the term diet. I don't like using the term diet. I use healthy food choices or healthy food plan. I don't use the term diet. So
you one of those they was talking about. So
yeah.
but yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it. And it's a thing that all of the companies are starting to fall in line with. Coca-Cola, and it's also a business move as well, because that sugar is costing. So to make products where they're not, spending so much on sugar, is actually another, business move for low cost and bigger, larger revenue. So they're trying to keep with it, and just be on the lookout, consumers. You're going to start to see more drink products doing zero sugar alternatives, and even you're starting to see sparkling water. You're starting to see products do carbonated soft drinks. There's sparkling water and no sweeteners, no calories. So that's going to pick up as the next few years come about. So that's a big one. So no sugar, and if you see me, hey, have me some kind of alternative other than lemon and water for those local businesses out there. Yeah. Look, have some for us diabetic folks. All right. Yeah. So in my next story, U.S. schools, and I know people kind of caught this. U.S. schools all over are on high alert over a school shooting TikTok challenge. So schools that span across from California, Missouri, New Jersey, New York, Minnesota, they've all canceled classes, schools for the day, while others are remaining open, but have announced that they would add extra police officers on campus to remain on high alert. This came from a TikTok challenge that at first was believed that it came out of California, and then it came about that it came out of somewhere in Arizona. But the origin of the purported TikTok challenge is not clear, though multiple videos on the TikTok app reference December 17th and school shootings. Prepared to hopefully not get shot tomorrow at school, one TikTok user wrote on their video. Basically, there was school threats tomorrow, i.e. this was Wednesday, declaring Friday, December 17th for most schools. It's been people that have posted pictures, videos, and as it went on and on, even in Texas, it said it got a threat in a line, and some parents picked up on it, and so it kind of, calls started to be made. Hey, what's going on? Apparently there's the TikTok challenge was originally that kids were supposed to skip school. Then it manifested into they're supposed to call the school to report a bomb threat or a shooting, and then boom, it just manifested into something completely crazy. So a lot of law enforcement have came out and said, hey, we're putting out all of these resources. We're it's taking folks away from solving actual crimes and things like that, because school shootings has been a big thing going on lately. So, and then for it to be something that's fake, it's just, it's one of those Justice Smollett type situations. You throw out the gauntlet to try to stop something, prevent something from happening, because we know when it comes to an active shooter situation, you cannot stop anybody from dying. You can just try your best to prevent it as many deaths as possible. So once that type of rumor mill gets out, it's all hands on deck. And it's unfortunate, but I don't know who got this started. I don't even know whether criminal charges will come behind it. I think it's one of those things that caught legs, and kids just kind of took off with it. And we really got to sit down with these kids and make sure that they don't do this. I don't know what
it actually reached Florida. So some people think
I got a call today from my wife, and she was like, "Hey, you heard about?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna talk about it on the show because it's getting crazy."
Yeah.
So,
but Chipley High School, some students there were talking about it, and so, but the principal, Alicia Clemens at Chipley High School, and her safety director, they were in touch with the safety director down in, I think it was down south somewhere, and basically they are the ones that investigated and let them know that this is basically a TikTok challenge, and there's no basis for it, and we're just asking all schools to have their SRO on alert. So basically that's how they handled it.
Now I will say the law enforcement all over has kind of been on the same page to say that the threats aren't credible, but that schools are still taking extra precaution and measures anyway. So even for those that may say, well, it might be fake, but somebody still might try to do something, for the most part, everybody is law enforcement across the nation that did respond to the challenge of saying there's no credible threat, but we're still gonna be in place and be in position in the event to thwart anything to possibly happen. So that's good news. But that is it for national news. And once again, I want to talk about People's Funeral Home, because they care. They're here when you need us. Long Granbury Funeral Services Incorporated, doing business as People's Funeral Home. Marion and Battle Mortuary, Panama City, offers services that is within the reach of all. The caring staff is available 24/7, and when the need arises. The services are designed to commemorate the life being remembered at a price suitable for all. So please give Cephas and Gwen a call at 850-482-2233, or please simply stop by for more information. That's People's Funeral Home.
Okay, cool. All right, we'll go to our sports segment, and we're going to talk about Marion Middle School Bullpups are the conference champs for basketball.
What?
You can see right there. Yeah, Byron, they went undefeated, 17-0. The team is coached by none other than Jeremiah Blunt, and had a very good season this year again. Congratulations to Marion Middle School Bullpups, who are the conference champs for basketball. So.
Yeah, shout out to Coach Blunt, man. I'm happy to see him get that win, and yes, a lot of young boys that then sprouted, and I'm like, man, I was like, God, it seemed like I just saw you yesterday and you was here. Now got me feeling like old scrub now. But yeah, congrats. Yeah.
All right, so now we're going to move on to one of the big news in the country. Dion Sanders has made a big impact in college football, as we all know. And this week, he flipped the #1 recruit, Travis Hunter, who had been committed to Florida State for 21 months, Byron. And this week, on Thursday, he announced he's going to Jackson State. That is huge.
I told you. I told you he need to stay where he at. And I told y'all I'm a history nut. For people that don't know, anytime you watch the NFL draft and you see any of those greats, Hall of Famers that get up and they announce, listen, just pay attention. The next NFL draft, when you see those old schools come up, the Hall of Famers, and they announce what the pick is going to be, they're going to tell you what school they came from. And anybody that played, pre-70s was HBCUs. That's where all the great players came from. And I dare say it's ironic because Dion Sanders was one of the first players, high profile, top recruits that went against the grain and went to a Division I, school that wasn't an HBCU. And so now full circle is changing back around because look, to me, I've had these debates with friends of mine. It's like, if you had a chance for your kid to go to Harvard or to FAMU, which one is FAMU? I mean, the School of Business is the top. Sometimes they outbeat the Harvard School of Business sometimes. So I'm looking at, what that institution builds and does for that kid, for that mind. And look, man, I'm glad it is happening. I'm glad that, some of this, if this starts and this picks up, a lot of that money is going to start coming back to HBCUs because they're not getting that full support as been promised, no matter what politician is in office. And, look, for sports, they put butts in seats and they're like the real moneymaker for schools. So stay where you at, Dion, and build a legacy where you at. Stay where you at.
I think that's good advice. I want to show, here's Travis Hunter right here. I'm going to read a little bit of his statement that he released. It says, Florida State has always been a beacon for me. I grew up down there. That's where my roots are. And I never doubted that I would play for the Seminoles. It's a dream that is hard to let go of, but sometimes we are called to step into a bigger future than the one we imagine for ourselves. For me, the future is at Jackson State University. And he go on to mention Jerry Rice, Doug Williams, and of course the legend Jackson State's own Walter Payton. Historically Black colleges and universities have a rich history in football. So this young man, he got it.
Well, here's the thing. He's gonna make it to the league regardless. That's the whole point. You're gonna make you if you good, you're a top, recruit. You going to the league regardless. And being Dion, trust me, people gonna come see you. So it's gonna be a bigger legacy. It's gonna be a bigger. He's gonna be larger than life no matter what. So hey, I love the story. It warmed my little heart to see that.
On Wednesday, Dion was, he said we got some news that's going to shock the world. And then on Thursday, Hunter made the announcement. Now, Hunter is 6'1", 180 pounds. He's a threat on both sides of the ball. He's a wide receiver and a cornerback. So it's going to be interesting to see where he goes as far as when he does go to Jackson State.
Yeah, and I want to make another point. Now, that's at the same time you're talking to a Florida State fan. So, I just let you know I am a Florida State fan, but I love to see that. I love to see that. So the only thing better if he'd went to fan.
Oh, that's true. That is true. And this kid, he's from Swanee, Georgia. Went to Collins Hill High School, and they won a state championship last weekend. So this kid, basically, this has set a lot of things in motion. And I'm going to go ahead and talk about this. It was some rumors that, kind of surrounded it. And this is from haters that was saying like Dion promised him all this money from the NIL. I don't know if people are familiar with NIL, but NIL stands for name, image, and likeness. And so as of July the 1st of this year, athletes are able to capitalize on their name, image, and likeness. So a lot of kids have signed contracts with different companies and are now able to make money in many states. Florida is one of them. Most states have already adopted this policy. There are some states that are going to adopt it later on, and I think it's January 2022. But Florida is one of them. Georgia, they all are now allowing kids not to pay for play. They're saying it's different things, but they can capitalize on their name, their image, and their likeness, and so they can sign these contracts. And so it was rumors that Dion had promised his kid, like $1 million. Well, Dion came out and said, we ain't got no money to do that. That is not true. He said, y'all just hating because I flipped him.
Yeah, and if you ever seen Dion talk, I mean, he can go. He's real good. I can imagine what he's like one-on-one in the comfort of your living room, and then he's walking with you on campus, and he's able to really put that real mojo on him. But look, these big institutions been running that same game on kids for 40 years. They've been running that same game, but they never have fully delivered on it. I mean, if you watch that 30 for 30 episode on SMU, it was crazy. In NCAA, you had people passing out for giving the what was that rule called, the death penalty to SMU for all the money that they was dishing out, back when Eric Dickerson and players like that were being recruited. So this is nothing new, but now the tables have changed. Now, okay, there's something that is leveling the playing field now. If Dion was doing that, it'd have been fair game anyway. But you just gonna have to step up your game now. That's all it is.
But he didn't do that. I mean, but the thing is, like I said, this kid can sign an NIL deal. He can. Yeah. He can do that because I mean that is legal now. So but I thought it was funny how Dion responded. He tweeted, "We ain't got no money. $1.5 million."
Give him his credit, man.
Yeah, he was like, he said, "This means we just kicked your butt." That's what he said.
That's it.
Yeah. So a lot of haters, but
it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to, as a coach that is not from an HBC. It's gonna be hard to pitch why not going is more beneficial, right? Because that's a hard pitch. It was an easier pitch to say, hey, you can come to us. We got better facilities. We got this and this and this. But now to tell a kid, when you don't want to go there, why not? That's gonna be hard. So they just gonna have to come. Yeah.
HBC is now on the map. Like I said, Sanders, the Jackson State Tigers, they went 11-1 this season. They won the SWAC, and they'll be heading to the Celebration Bowl. And then, of course, meanwhile, Florida State finished 5-7. So,
I mean, that was a no-brainer. I could understand as a kid, like, hey, I want to get lost in the sauce.
So I want to talk about the NIL because I don't know if a lot of people was aware of what happened over the summer. July 1st, a lot of kids, when the clock struck 12:01, a lot of kids were able to sign and get money. And like I explained earlier, is basically the kids can profit off of their name, their image, and their likeness. Now I'm going to show you that picture. These are some of the kids have already signed, Byron, and surprisingly, the most popular, well, I shouldn't say surprisingly, but the most popular sports that are signing, football, and here's a surprise, volleyball. However, volleyball don't get the same compensation as some of the other sports. Yeah. But they have more athletes signing than any other sports besides football, but they just don't get the amount of money that the other sports are getting. But Tom Brady, Byron, he got his brand out here, the Brady brand, and he's signing athletes. Yeah. So
he's building up his nest egg for I don't know when he retires at 52. Tom Brady's.
Matter of fact, he signed Dion's son.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that just happened this week. Yeah. Yeah, they redefined the Brady brand. So, but I want people to be aware of that. So if you got a kid, I'm just going to put this out there. If you got a kid that got some potential to play college sports, and you may want to go ahead and let him know now your image is everything, because you can make money off of your image legally right now. And these kids are signing hundreds of $1,000s and still being able to play college ball. So while you out there wilding out, you better think about, what is my image like? Is somebody gonna pay me money for my image while I'm in college?
Because now they're gonna start to watch you in high school and what you post and what you
But look at those kids right there. And look at the numbers, how much money they're making. I mean, it's a lot, especially for a college kid. $600,000. Yeah, that's a lot.
I mean, and that at the same time that kind of makes a kid focus. Now, I don't have to worry about. And the whole reason why going to pro sports is because I want to make that money and take care of my family and this and that. Well, now I'm good. My focus can be on school and strengthening my mind and having a degree and building. And so now, the league will probably get a lot more. It's going to get a lot tougher for the league because you're going to have athletes now that are more business minded. They're more mature. Those checks gonna have to be a little different. Those contracts gonna have to come a little different now. You're not gonna have.
Not gonna be a good thing because of that. I'm all for it. I mean, here's the statistics, Byron. So the top 5 sports and they're assigning. Number 1 is football. Number 2, women's volleyball. Number 3, men's basketball. Number 4, men's baseball. And number 5, men's track and field. But the most compensation, meaning the sport that's, bringing in the most money to these athletes, number 1, football. Number 2, men's basketball. Number 3, women's volleyball is number 3. Number 4, women's basketball. And then number 5, women's swimming and diving. That's a surprise, isn't it? Yeah, it is. So, but again, just let your athlete know, hey, your image means everything. Your likeness, your name, that's your brand. Start working on it now. Yeah. All right. So, I want to mention this. Speaking of college football, some of the bowl games have started, and a lot of the ones that people may not be familiar with, but I think I just mentioned Jackson State. They'll be going to the Celebration Bowl. But later on today, UAB and BYU will be playing. And that bowl, have you heard of this one? It's called the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl. Have you heard of that? No. So that's UAB and BYU at 2:30, and that game is on ABC. And then on Thursday, which is the 23rd, UCF and Florida will be playing at 6 p.m. And that bowl game is called the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl.
Gasparilla.
Yeah. Like I said, the most popular bowl games will be played after Christmas. Okay. Oh, yeah. But if you just want to watch some football, like I said, UCF and Florida will be playing on Thursday at 6 o'clock. And that game will be on ESPN. All right. So, and then the last thing I want to mention in sports of Urban Meyers, just want to let you know that he is no longer the coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He was fired, and I don't know if you're aware, but there was a lot going on. Even though this was his first season at Jacksonville, there was a lot going on, sidelines. I mean, he was seen at a bar, receiving a lap dance. Just hours before he was fired, a former kicker for the Jaguars said that he kicked him, actually kicked him. So hours later, they let him go. He was gone. So the person that's stepping in is the offensive coordinator, Daryl. I think his last name is Bavale. I think that's how you pronounce it. But that's who's going to be taking the Jaguars on for the regular rest of the season. So, but yeah, Urban Meyers is out.
I saw that one coming. I was wondering if they were going to wait to the end of the season, and but I saw that one coming, especially with them getting the number one pick with the kid out of Clemson. Yeah, I saw that coming. Sometimes it's not very often that college coaches come to pro and are successful. So, and the way he left Ohio State, I was just like, I didn't think it was going to work out. Because Jacksonville needed a lot of work, so.
Yeah, and they were saying, some of the people were saying that he would not really stay long at different meetings and stuff. He would leave early. So I'm just wondering if he had some other things going on. Because did you see the video? When he was at the bar and the girl was giving him the lap dance. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that one. But I saw at the end of. I want to say it was the last game that they lost, and the handshake he gave and the way he walked out on the field at the end of the game. it was just, I hadn't played, college sport and like, but even in high school, you don't, that's just something coaches don't, they don't play that. They don't play even you running from the huddle to the sideline or running to you always, you always show character even in defeat. And that was just something that you just, I've never seen a coach do. And I was kind of like, yeah, he kind of like, he kind of got that, like, I don't care 2 cents mentality and I'm just whatever. So, I kind of saw, I was like, yeah, I don't think he's going to last long. It's probably going to be kind of short. But I'm not surprised that they went ahead and just cut ties, right now versus waiting to the end of the season. But
yeah. Well, he's out, and like I said, Daryl Bavell, who is the offensive coordinator, he is the interim coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay. And that's all I have for sports. What do you have for entertainment?
So for entertainment, I want to talk about Tyler Perry. So Tyler Perry, he crashes his $200,000 SUV after leaving LA airport. He was involved in a pretty gnarly 2-car accident after leaving the airport in Burbank, California, an accident that saw his $200,000 SUV in serious repair. It's not funny, but it's funny at the same time. The movie mogul was driving his Bentley SUV to his Los Angeles area home after landing at the airport. This was the 15th. While en route, a Honda Accord. Now we got a Bentley SUV and we got a Honda Accord. The Honda Accord cut across 3 lanes of traffic and ended right up in his path. So, he ended up T-boning the car, smashing into the driver's side of the Honda. And no doubt the Honda was at fault. So, first thing anybody thinking, I wonder what, I know you ain't have enough coverage to cover that $200,000 vehicle. So, Tyler's the car he has is retails for roughly $200,000, but it definitely can go up much higher depending on any upgrades, which you pretty sure he had some upgrades in that vehicle. According to the report, the woman driving the Honda admitted fault. Yeah. And the incident was bad enough to generate it wasn't bad enough to generate a police report. And they're saying that it appears that everything will go through insurance, but I'm pretty sure she ain't got enough coverage for that vehicle. So I know he was taking.
Let me point something out, and I don't know if people know this, but like in California, and I know this was, I lived there for a while. When you have a fender bender or something like that, you don't have to call the police because they're so busy that if it's just a fender bender and nobody's hurt, you don't have to call the police. So it's between you and the other person. So, that's not, it's not like that here in Florida. But in California, the police, law enforcement is so busy. They like, if it's not, no injuries or anything like that, not a bad incident, don't call us. So that's why you see they had a choice. You said that they didn't call, they don't have to. Yeah. A lot of people don't know that.
That makes sense. So yeah, I hate it, but yeah, he good. I don't like to be a person that say that because ain't nobody trying to count your money or your losses. But yeah, I know he was ticked about that one. So my next story, Travis Scott just made his first smart decision. Folks are saying since the Astroworld Fest. Since the incident, he hasn't made the decision following Astroworld Fest tragedy in early November. But he may finally be on a path to enacting some real change. So he's kind of flirting with the idea of coming up with some type of plan to create a committee comprised of members from a variety of disciplines and try to come up with something that targets events and the safety of those events. So according to TMZ, he met with leaders of the United States Conference of Mayors, which is a nonpartisan organization made of about 1,400 mayors. And due to the fallout of the Astroworld deaths, he continues reverberating throughout the nation. So reportedly, the organization is planning to create a committee that has these various disciplines such as healthcare, event management, government, public safety, and music and technology to create safety guidelines and best practices for future shows to adhere to. But now they've not come out and said that they've sat down with Travis and this is what they're going to move forward, but they're kind of all indications kind of showing that this is something he's trying to gear towards. I hope that you know, they can make something like this happen. Nevertheless, at the same time, he's still going, don't get him out of the legal battles and some of the repercussions that's going to come litigiously from the deaths that occurred at his festival. I just, you know, I like to point out he's not the only person. People have mega shows and events. I saw a video of one of Tina Turner concerts. I was like, man, it's crazy how many people that I at that event are just going wild. You know, it's just the one he did, it wasn't prepared properly. He did an interview with Charlamagne the God, and it didn't come off well. So during this ill-received chat, he proposed that a solution to improve live show safety would be to turn the bracelets people wear for admission in the festivals into smart devices. But it was a cool idea, but I see a few loopholes in it. But hopefully this will move forward and he'll be able to make a negative into a positive. So people are saying this may be the smartest move he's made thus far. So we'll see what goes with that. Okay. And in my last story, Megan Thee Stallion just inked a major deal with Netflix. She says, I can't wait to bring all my ideas and for my hotties to watch. So just call her Megan the producer. According to Hollywood Reporter, rapper Megan Thee Stallion has signed her first look deal with Netflix, which will see the megastar creating and executive producing original content as well as other projects for the streamer. So she says she always wanted to do this. She wanted to tell her stories and give a creative feel. She's thrilled about the partnership, and venturing into production is the next step in her journey. And as an entrepreneur, she says she can't wait to bring all her ideas to life once again for our hotties to watch. So I don't know if people know, but she had recently graduated college. I think it was from was Texas. What school it was she graduated from? I think it was Texas State. But she recently got her bachelor's degree, and so what I like about what Megan Thee Stallion is doing is she's showing people, she's showing females, hey, no matter, you know, what you get stigmatized with, where you come from, where your background is, stay on your path and you can succeed and you can, you know, check the block on a lot of your goals and a lot of your dreams, and let that be, you know, a model for a lot of young sisters out there. Don't quit. Texas Southern is where she got her degree at. So and look, I'm a father. I've got, you know, young girls. I know a lot of her lyrics, you know, young folks get out there. So I you know, my girls don't know it too well. But what I'll say is, hey, stick to your goals, stick to it. Don't let nobody tell you different, and you can set your own path and make your accomplishments, you know.